You get to unpack that one later.
Ooh.
Coming up,
And it has done nothing but terrorize me since.
The deck?
Yes, this is a haunted deck of tarot cards.
Welcome to our podcast where we take deep dives.
Looking at various topics through a paranormal lens.
All right, welcome back to Paranormal Lens. We got a little professional pants on today because we have a guest.
Our very first guest.
First guest, Bree, who is this?
So for our very first guest ever, we have Lindsay, and she is a very close friend and practically family at this point.
Mhm.
And we had a phenomenal idea. Do you want to explain the idea before I finish introducing Lindsay?
Sure, yeah. So we had this idea because we've done 50 of these episodes, and it was a running joke when we plow through 50 fast topics. So essentially, we've done 100 topics at this point. Will we run out of ideas? And I was like, no, never. So we had the idea just to kind of lean into that a little bit. What if we came in without a topic? And then Angela was like, what do you mean? I mean, she never knows a topic, but she was like, what do you mean, no topic? My idea was, what if we let tarot pick a topic? So this is a tarot topic. We actually have no idea what we're going to talk about. Clean slate. We're going to do a quick tarot poll. The idea initially was for us to pull it, but we're not like professional. We have a tarot deck. It's not a complete deck though, and we don't really know all the ins and outs of all the symbols. I do like using tarot to kind of frame narratives and kind of the storytelling aspects, but I couldn't tell you every detail on them. So Bree had the idea to bring the professional tarot reader.
Yeah.
To do our tarot topic.
Professional is a very kind word. Thank you.
You know more than us, so that's
I will take it.
I
will
really
take it.
like the way that you do tarot. So I was like, who would be perfect for this and would probably jump at the opportunity is
You know me too
Lindsay.
well because I did jump at the opportunity, and I am honored to be your first guest.
Well, I mean, we have done phone
Yay.
readings in the past, namely around certain projects, like the possession tape. We did a whole little phone reading that was fun. So this
When
isn't
you
our
said
first.
when
What?
you said phone reading, I was thinking like how people can call and pay over the phone readings. That's kind of what I thought you were
Don't tell me you
talking
hired an
about.
Etsy witch for this.
No. Oh,
No.
okay. Side note.
No
though.
hate. No hate
No,
to
no.
Etsy witches. Love them.
Side note. I did one time in college. I was on Fiverr. You know the website Fiverr, where you can like just digital whatever services. I was on there for something else, and I saw a little pop up for a $5 psychic reading from like Czechoslovakia or something. So I paid for one before going on an investigation, asking specific questions about the investigation we were about to go on, and then a few days passed and I compared it. Boy, it wasn't even bad to the point it was like the opposite. I was just like, what is this? So no, I haven't done. That's the closest, but I wouldn't pay over the phone.
Well, lucky for you, you get my services for free today. I'm
Yes.
just here to have
Yay.
fun.
Well, but
Yay.
I believe that like it's the person has a lot to do with it. Like you gotta trust a person, you gotta have good energy and rapport with the person. It's gonna make for a better reading. So like it's less of a paying money thing and more of like a stranger type of thing. At least for me, I don't know.
Yeah.
Have you found that like the vibe and energy and the people can affect the readings?
Oh, absolutely. The thing about tarot that I find really interesting is you can have the same reading for 10 different people, and every one of those people is going to have a different interpretation of what the cards mean. You could put somebody in front of me that I have never met before, and if I spend even like 5-10 minutes with them and just kind of like, if you vibe with the person, if you feel good with the person, I typically find it pretty easy to narrow in on whatever it is that the person is insecure about or worried about or just kind of has at the forefront of their mind. Um, and it's easier, obviously, for more intuitive people, but the different connections with the different people will make for a different reading every single time. And I think that's like my favorite part about tarot.
Yeah. Yeah. And one of the reasons why I'm also like, hey, we need Lindsay on board with this is because, like I said, I love the way that you do read tarot because I have had other people do it for me, or I have seen other people do it. And I have never had as much of like, oh wow, actually, hey, that makes sense
Hmm.
as I have with you.
I mean,
So
there does reading for somebody you know does tend to like, you tend to read with a little bit of a bias
yeah.
in a way. But,
Oh,
the first time that
absolutely.
we read tarot together, I really didn't know you all that well,
Mhm.
and I was
Mhm.
very insecure with, like, my situation and where I was living and the things that were going on in my own life, and those did kind of, like, take precedence in my mind. So to be
Mhm.
able to still read for you, I don't wanna say essentially a stranger because we had spoken and, like, hung out quite a bit at this point, but I didn't know you as deeply as I know you now, and to
Yeah.
still get that accurate of a reading and, like, to get that deep into things that were personal to you, kinda gives you the chills a little bit, you know? It really makes you wanna believe.
Yeah. Mhm. So,
Before we want to get into the tarot, this is going to be the downfall of us just having like our friends and people we know on the podcast. Because did we even like introduce like what's your name, what's your tarot,
well,
like
I
what's your
introduced Lindsay.
did you did you? I
Yeah.
can't remember because we're just chit
Yes,
chatting.
It
Okay,
was
okay.
it was very much in the beginning.
So
it
the
was
audience
brief.
knows. The audience knows her name is Lindsay.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Um,
Just
and
watch.
and,
You're
and
gonna like. We're gonna re-listen. We're gonna be like, wait, no, we never actually did introduce her.
because you came on the Zoom, we were just chit chatting, before we recorded. We were like, hey Lindsay. It's just like, did we say once we clicked record? Okay, this is Lindsay. Let's
Yes,
pretend
I
like we have
did
no
get
idea.
a
Okay.
I did get a brief introduction, but for the audience's sake, my name is Lindsay. I'm not a professional tarot reader, but I do hold to a pagan belief system, and a lot of tarot and oracle reading does come very naturally to me. So I am just very honored to be invited to come on Paranormal Lens today.
Yay. So exciting.
Okay.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about the deck you're going to be reading from?
So before we began recording, I did kind of give us a couple of options. I have a few card decks. I have my tried and true, my best girlfriend, my Terra Soleil deck. You can actually find this creator on Etsy. She's amazing. And her cards are incredible and hand drawn and not made by AI, which I feel like is
Oh,
very important in this day
hell
and
yeah.
age.
Good.
I have read from this deck for years. This was my first deck. It was gifted to me. I love this deck very, very much, and I really love the artist that made them. This is my nice deck. I do, however, have a haunted deck of tarot cards. This came from a pop-up thrift shop in Salt Lake City. And for those who aren't familiar with the culture surrounding Salt Lake City, it is very, very religious.
Very.
It has a
Isn't it like a
very
big?
high concentration of Mormons. Yes, it is the
Yeah, that's what
Mormon
I was gonna
capital of
say.
the world. It is where all of the legends surrounding Joseph Smith kind of originate from, and like where they take a lot of precedence and where a lot of those historical events take place. And so finding this tarot deck was an experience in and of itself because trying to find spiritual things in the Mormon capital of the world can be a little bit tricky because unfortunately, historically, religious people don't really like tarot and they don't really like the
Yeah.
occult and they don't really
Mhm.
like divination and things like that. But I walked into the most insane pop-up thrift shop you have ever seen in your entire life. I am talking bits and bobs and trinkets and garbage from floor to ceiling. You had to wade through, you had to like avoid knocking crystal glasses and stuff over.
Uh,
Those are the best kinds of thrift
It
shops.
was the best, except the vibes were rancid when you
Ooh.
walked in.
Ooh.
I went with
I think
my
those are still the
ex's.
best.
Yes. I went with um my ex's sister. Chelsea,
Mhm.
if you're watching this, I love you. She will recount this story with me. You walk in, it just felt wrong, but we were like, you know what? We love a thrift store. We're going to check it out anyway. And it was one of those stores where you could walk all the way around the back and then back up to the front. Um, but they had a section in the center that was dedicated to all things occult.
Oh.
They had a lot of stuff there that I'm sure many cultures would not have appreciated having in the store.
Mhm.
like having taken by people not from those cultures.
It's
This
unfortunate that happens a lot in these
Mhm.
types of stores, but
Yeah,
yeah,
and
Yeah.
especially
continue.
in Salt Lake City,
Yeah.
where I feel like there is almost the need to like compensate for that kind of thing.
Hmm.
This, I swear to you, was sitting on the shelf completely by itself. It had nothing else around it. It wasn't sitting up on a bookshelf. It wasn't like propped up. It literally was just like sitting out. Like nothing wanted to be around it. And I was like, oh, this is a really cool tarot card deck. You know, it kind of has very similar vibes to like the classic Rider Waite set that you see all the time. When you think tarot cards, you think of that typical artwork. Um, and I carried it with me throughout like the rest of our shopping experience. And I didn't purchase anything else. I handed it over to the cashier when I purchased it, and I looked up and there was a giant license plate, the biggest license plate in there with the red number 666 right over the top of his head as I purchased this tarot card deck. And it has
Interesting.
done nothing but terrorize me since.
The deck?
Yes. This is, if this is my nice deck, this is my homegirl, this is my bestie, this is her evil twin. And she
Like,
deserves jail time.
like the
Can you
readings you do? Yeah, like
Yes.
the readings you do, or like the deck
Mhm.
itself?
The deck itself has jumped off of my shelf a couple of times and spilled itself all over the floor.
Huh?
Yeah.
You can see this doesn't like it's not attached really, and so this will just fall off and cards will fall out of it. It has also given me very contradictory readings. And I will do a reading with my nice deck and then get a very similar reading from this mean deck, except it wants to argue with the first deck. So it's very contradictory. It's very blunt. It's very like straight to the point. That's not to say that I haven't gotten some good usage out of it and some really good readings, but she's mean. She's really mean. So I figured we'd break her out today because she doesn't get as much screen time as my
Yeah,
other
and
girl.
and
So
your other deck said that.
yes, and that is really important. I was shuffling the deck
Yeah.
to show the artwork before we began, and we did get the Six of Cups in reverse, which kind of leans into like gifts and unexpected information and things like that. And so we kind of gleaned from that she wants her evil twin sister to be read today. So here we are.
That's hilarious that they have like an ongoing conversation with each other. It's
They
just like,
do.
Yeah.
They
yeah,
communicate with each other.
that deck's a bitch.
Yes,
Am I? Okay, maybe they need a bitchy reading today.
exactly. And when I do readings for people, I do warn them. I'm like, do you want the nice card deck or do you want the mean card deck? And you'd be surprised at how many people actually do pick the mean readings. People like to be
I
told what is up.
I'd be curious though, honestly.
So, well, you'll get to see
Okay.
what she has to say today.
Yeah,
boy.
let's
So
dive in.
thrilled.
All right.
What this was your idea, Bree. Don't sound.
I know. I was being sarcastic in like a joking sense, but yeah. Okay. Anyways,
I don't believe I have read from this deck for Brianna. I believe
No.
there was somebody from your past, though, that I did read from this deck.
oh really?
Yes, and we can talk about that off
Oh.
camera. But
Or maybe on camera with codes. Who knows? If it comes
Um,
up.
I think
Yeah,
it's probably a
family
conversation
stuff.
for off camera.
Okay.
But it is still a very interesting thing. I'm not recalling much about the reading itself, but we'll go over that.
Okay.
After.
Okay.
If we're ready to read, we can see what
Yes.
our deck has to say today. So
Yeah.
What does
we're
she have to say?
shuffling. What does
So-
she have to say? And the thing is, I don't know if it's the card or if it's the universe that's speaking to us, but either way, I get the feeling she's going to
Yes.
say something. So we'll see. And the way I like to kind of read is a little bit of like a chaotic reading. I just kind of chuck them into my hands, and whatever like falls out that's not like half the deck is kind of what she wants to say. And so sometimes it means one card, sometimes it means four. So it's kind of hard to say for sure. Like you'll know if it's just me like being Butterfinger or if
Right.
it wants to actually like pop out, because it will fly. Oh, like that.
Whoa.
We just got
okay.
two. They will fly
Oh.
right out at me.
Okay.
So today, and weirdly enough, they are both upright. So we don't have any reverse readings today. I am so sorry about that glare. I don't know
Oh,
how to get rid
it's
of it.
all good. Most people
good.
listen anyway, so it's the
Fair
five
enough. Fair
people on
enough.
YouTube can deal with a little glare, right?
All right.
At least they can see
Say
95%. You can see 95% of it. That's more than most
yes,
people.
and I'm going to read it out anyway, so it's
Yeah,
fine.
it's all good.
So the two suits that we did end up with, we have cups and swords. And I lied. This one is in reverse. I can't read.
Oh.
So the first one that we did get the Ace of Cups. I think this is my deck making fun of me because I just called her mean. Because this is typically a card about intentions. And with it being upright, it's typically good. So, like good intentions, a good mood, having like a good relationship with somebody. So, in the matter of like a relationship, it's typically someone you're in good standing with or things like that. So, I think this card is her making fun of me. So, we're going to, I'm sorry I called you mean. You are mean though. And you know what's funny is this is also the Ace of Cups does also deal a lot in like religion.
Mhm.
And so for people who have like religious trauma, that's a really good card and a really good indication for people like that they're on the right path.
Oh, where did Bree go? We
I'm
lost
here.
Bree.
Sorry.
Oh,
Hang on.
okay.
I don't
I
know what
thought
happened.
well, she just said like people with religious trauma, and then Bree disappears.
And
She's like,
Bree
nope,
disappeared.
nope. She's like,
I
I
accidentally
gotta
hit my
text her.
power button instead of my volume button.
I thought I was getting too personal already. You're like, stop it.
Like, man.
Dip in. Bye.
So next we kind of move into a not so nice card. And this is where I think this deck is kind of like holding true to the things that I know about her. Because we look at the Three of Swords in reverse. And it is kind of about like confusion and like grief and misunderstanding and like loneliness and being lonely. So if I had to guess at what it kind of wants to talk about today, if we put the two of these together, is the way, and it's so funny that I was just talking about the religious Mormon center of Salt Lake City. And then we bring up a card up that talks about religious trauma and one that talks about like loneliness and confusion and grief and misunderstanding. So I'm going to guess that our tarot deck would like to talk a little bit about how being in like surrounded by a religion that you are not a part of, or a religion that maybe is like forced upon you, how that can affect the way you view the world. And if we want to like bring that around into like the way it ties into the paranormal, the things that you see and the things you experience on a day-to-day basis that a non-religious person might see and believe and know like to be true for themselves, like when we talk about like hallucinations or like bad dreams, or even like auditory hallucinations, or like seeing people out of the corner of your eye and you want to believe that those are like spirits or ghosts. The way like a religious upbringing or something like that can kind of dampen like a paranormal experience and kind of lend the person who's experiencing it to ignore the paranormal and kind of like use it to wipe paranormal away and brush it under the rug.
Yeah, that's interesting. And even relating it back to like the deck itself, like it was found alone. Even though it was in the occult section, maybe it was just kind of the people coming by were kind of getting the same sense of a vibe, and instead of leaning in like, hey, maybe there's an entity wanting to speak. Maybe it's a good. I mean, we found with haunted objects we brought in, a lot of them have good vibes, good intentions. They just, either something about it is broken or needs to be repaired, and they're calling out, not in an aggressive way, but like, hey. Especially with like the music items, like we have some haunted music boxes that the actual mechanism is broken. So it'll be haunted and just call out like, hey, listen, I'm trying to say something, not as an aggressive way, but everyone's passing me by because they feel a vibe. I'm just trying to say, fix me. Maybe it was calling out in that way and, just kind of got ignored. And what does that do to a spirit or an entity if they're constantly being ignored because all this kind of, I don't want to say persecution, but kind of like
I understand what you mean though. Almost like the pressure. And I mean, I know that people who aren't like of any sort of faith who live in like religious centers like that kind of do feel that like oppression, that like silencing almost.
Mhm.
I mean, Brie, you found the Hana music box I was talking about.
Mhm.
Can you think for a second, what if instead of just like a random music box in an antique store that just so happened to have a vibe and activity around it, what if that was put in a box with occult symbols on it in the middle of a occult section in the religious store? Would
I can
that
only
aff-
imagine.
would that affect you buying it at all?
100%. But also at the time, I wasn't buying the music box for me. So maybe it wouldn't have. I was buying the
Yeah.
music box for somebody else, and then I ended up keeping it because I was too invested in fixing it.
What does that say about you as a person? Oh, I'm
Um,
getting really into the tarot reader part of me. I'm so sorry. We don't have to do therapy right now.
I was like, ooh, therapy.
I'm
mode.
like, excuse me,
Ooh.
ma'am.
Brie,
I slipped. I'm sorry.
she just texted me. This is the last time Lindsay's on the podcast.
That's crazy. You can't keep me out.
What? Angela needs more therapy than you do?
To bring it back to like the tarot deck though, I do feel like it is worth mentioning that though I call this my mean tarot deck, it's almost like mean the same way Regina George was mean. She's a mean girl. She's got mean girl energy, not that it's like an evil spirit or like a bad entity, like anything like that. It's more just like nobody wants to hear what she has to say because she's right and she's rude about it. So I feel like it is worth making that distinction because she has definitely we did get another card from her for the
Okay.
record since we're talking about her, and it is cups in reverse. This is the 9 of cups in reverse. I'm sorry I called you mean. I love you.
She's the one that got
I
hit
feel
by a
like-
bus, right?
The tarot deck didn't, but Regina George
Yeah,
did.
yeah,
yes.
Did a tarot deck ever get hit by anything though?
I don't know. I just know that she came from a traumatized background, I guess. It is also worth mentioning that she was in original packaging when I got it.
Oh, okay.
So it had never been opened, had never been used. So that mark
Huh.
about loneliness, I think you might be right on the money with that. And this also was published in 2008, and I got it in probably 2019, 2020-ish. No, actually, it might have been a little bit further than that. It would have been either 20 or 21. So it from 2008 to 2021, it had never been used.
That's crazy.
So the 10 of cups in reverse, the keywords that come with this are family quarrel, irritation, and sorrow.
Well, family quarrel,
So-
see, if there's religious trauma, that's going to be within the family.
Yeah,
That's where
without
my
a
mind
doubt.
goes, so. Um,
So definitely wants to touch on the heavy stuff today. Like I said, it really doesn't cut corners. She really does not like to beat around the bush.
Wow.
But,
I mean, sorrow comes from loneliness, too.
mhm.
I'm Captain Obvious today. Look at
Look at you, you're on a roll. I think
you
it
did
might
all
be
the hard
more-
work. I'm just
I mean, like I said, the beautiful thing about tarot is being able to like take your own interpretation away from it, and whether that be the obvious one or the less obvious one, it's personal. And this one's very personal, right to the heart, I'll
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
But
I'm feeling so I feel like Angela and I may be feeling more in tune with these specific cards with our upbringing
mhm,
in being raised in heavily religious backgrounds
mhm.
and not exactly having parents who like what we're doing.
Yes.
Like, you see what I mean about tarot is it's vague in a way, but the more you pull and the more you read, it does kind of like strike true to like a personal note
Mm-hmm.
for the people around it. So whereas that doesn't really ring true for me, I definitely came into this with like, okay, I would like to put this energy out toward the audience, or like anyone who resonates with it, or anybody that like I'm in direct contact with. And being in direct contact with you guys, I don't think that one was for me. I think that one was for you guys. So have fun with that.
Okay.
the
You get to unpack that one later.
yeah, but I just want to say real quick before we move on. Um, in some early episode, I still remember this, Bree. You were talking with Angela about how, like, you know, your, if not your parents, family members, people within the religious communities you're in, say that ghost hunting, what we do, is a sin. And then
Mm-hmm.
I asked you, Angela, I said, do you think ghost hunting is a sin? And you said no. And I asked you, Bree, do you think ghost hunting is a sin? What we do is a sin? And you refused to answer me. I so do
Because
you
technically, in the Catholic religion, yes, it
but
is.
do you think it is? Do you think you have to agree with every
Ideology.
I
ideology?
mean, being that I do in fact do ghost hunting.
Does that make you less of a Catholic? I don't think so. Do you think so?
I also don't think so.
I don't think so either, because like I still participate and go to mass and go to church and do the readings and do the like participate, but I don't 100% agree with everything. So, yeah.
And I think it's like a really important distinction, because many religions would also argue that my belief systems and the things that I do are not like of God and that they're sin. But I also like, I think it's really important to note that though my partner is also of Catholic belief, um, we have found a lot of common ground with our belief systems. And paganism does directly like descend, or I guess it like Christian religions are a direct descendant of paganism. And like a lot of the like modern Christian belief systems are built on pagan
Around,
foundations.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And my partner and I have found a lot of common ground because the things that I am reflecting upon and like internalizing that come from like tarot readings and like my other practices and things like that are the same beliefs that he has. And at the end of the day, the relationship that you have with your spirituality or your God or your gods or, whatever it is you believe, it is deeply, deeply personal. And just because it comes in the form of laminated pieces of paper or a church pew, it doesn't mean that those values need to conflict with each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this also speaks to it's funny because this is our first, we wanted to do like, every now and then like a tarot topic, what's the tarot, today. If we run out of steam of topic generations or we just want to if we just had the
I'm
idea to
always
do it.
available.
Yeah, we just had the idea to do it this time, we're not slowing down or stopping or running out of any ideas, so don't panic, people. We got a lot more juice in us, but we just wanted to do it this time as like kind of just a proof of concept. I wanted to touch on in this first tarot one because people like you even alluded to, Lindsay, for some reason, even if like because I love using tarot, like I said, as like storytelling, as like narrative arcs. Like if
Mhm.
if
Yes.
it's a good way to 3 card tarot pull is a great way to frame a story. If you want
Yes.
to lean into like some of the symbols and metaphors. So like I'll sprinkle
Mhm.
some tarot, visuals or metaphors, or
Yeah,
archetypes
absolutely.
throughout films. For some reason, even if it has nothing to do with anything woo woo or occult or tarot specific, is just a paranormal video, people still think it's evil just because you put a photo of like the Fool card in something,
Yep.
even though you're not saying
The
anything. So, I mean, it is kind of tapping it. I want to discuss like, is tarot evil? Do we think it's evil?
Mm-hmm.
Is us discussing or engaging in a tarot reading? We're gonna get people like comments saying like, I didn't need to listen to a tarot reading. Why are you engaging in evil practices like that? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So
but anyone
And
who's listening to like a paranormal podcast that comes on to comment and complain about a tarot reading, like you're barking up the wrong tree,
no,
my
but but
friend.
but but,
You're
but
in the wrong
why?
tree.
But you alluded to this. You know
Yes.
that even within paranormal, people are on board with like you can talk to spirits, but as soon as you pull out a tarot deck, that is occult
And
activity. That's
Looks like
I do have an entire tangent to talk about the history of tarot and why it is that way. It would push this podcast much, much longer than I think we have time for today. But it's definitely something that I can like go over with you guys. But I mean, the long and short of it is that historically, because tarot was something that was done during times of like political unrest, and it was done like the poor were doing it, women who were viewed as quote unquote witches in like 1440s Italy, um, it was very prevalent during like the formation of a lot of like modern Christian religions. And so there's I could go into a whole deep dive about like why, but it's like in our DNA
Mhm.
to
Mhm.
be wary of it, because it's an intrinsic fear for a lot of people who hold belief systems outside of anything regarding tarot.
Yeah.
So it's like people who are afraid of snakes. It's that intrinsic fear,
Mhm.
you can't really shake.
I've definitely had this conversation with you guys and Lindsay and like just about tarot in general and because of that like that stigma and everything, but the way that I view tarot and how I feel like you guys kind of view tarot is it really isn't one of the things that it makes turns people off and why it's said to be sinful and all that is because it's used as like it's a divination deck. Like that is one word that it's used for, and that's not something that the church
Yeah.
wants you to do. You shouldn't be divining the future. Anyways,
Mhm.
but we see it, or I see it, as it's less of a divination tool. It is more of a psychological, like, awareness for yourself. And, like, yeah,
Self-reflection and introspection.
the cards mean something, but it's like you have said and we have all said, it's our interpretation of those cards that puts the meaning into it, and it's more of a self-reflection and just like, oh, yeah, I guess I didn't realize that about myself of, oh, yeah, I guess that is true. Maybe I do need to reflect on that and think about that more. So, I mean, I don't feel like it actually is divining anything
No.
because
I have predicted the birth of a baby. I have predicted a pregnancy and the birth of a child using tarot cards though. So, but maybe that's just me being an intuitive person. I don't know.
But also
That
for
makes me a
me,
sinner.
there's this one time I got a tarot reading and it was weirdly like the reader was saying things that were so connected, like so like was relating to my life. I'm like, and then this she was saying things and then day after these same things were happening. Like and I'm like that should it was crazy. I I agree with what you're saying, Brie, but sometimes
Mhm.
I feel like there's a little bit more to it too at times.
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like
fair.
That's fair.
Maybe I just haven't
how much
had
you
that
believe.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
and
And it was
I go to tarot for like the archetypes and the art and the symbol that they repeat. It's just nothing
Mhm.
in tarot card that you get out of it is exclusive to tarot. It's just a really cool way to
Yes.
you
yeah.
know
Combine
uh,
imagery.
combine
yeah,
imagery and meanings in a way that's you know taps into something bigger. But no, I find it funny. I was going to bring that up because people are going to say or think, and not a majority, but a few might think that
There's
we're
quite a few out there.
yeah, that we're going down a dark path by integrating tarot into the podcast now, or be careful with the woo woo. You guys are witches
The witchy
now.
woo, yeah.
Um,
hmm
but I wanted to bring that up, just in this first tarot one. And I think the tarot reading today kind of was, you know, alluding to some of
A
that as well, or kind of
And a good
saying, yeah,
introduction.
a good introduction of like it kind of framed. I didn't have to like force the topic on it. Like it kind of set it up of like, hey, you
Mhm.
know, this is a context in which we are doing or we like to read tarot.
Mhm. And the
yeah,
more
yeah.
you
Actually, that
have
kind of perfectly set it up. What the heck?
Because like again, to Bree's point, I've never used tarot as like we're gonna use these cards to like conjure or like do some divination or witchy stuff.
I'm not painting a mirror black and
Yeah,
like like dripping lamb's blood
no.
over everything, you know?
The
I mean,
It's
we
just
could. Do we want to?
oh, whoa, 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 whoa.
I'm
and
joking.
The full moon already passed. We have to wait
the
at least a month.
only mirrors with tarot are the mirrors they reveal into your soul.
Exactly.
I see you clip farming over there.
Hey, you know.
You can't fool me.
No, I
But yeah,
can't.
I think maybe she's not so mean after all. I think I may have misjudged her. She's just lonely. And I
Watch,
think I
next
should
time you
probably
read from
read
her,
her more
she's gonna
often.
call you a bitch.
I know she's gonna read me to filth. I'm I think her name is officially Regina though.
I love that.
She doesn't give like well, with what we've been doing so far on the podcast, she doesn't give the vibe of being mean. She's just brutally honest.
Very
Yeah.
brutally honest. She's that friend in your life that tells you what you don't want to hear.
Yeah.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes, ma'am.
Well, the next guest we have on the pod should be someone actually mean, though. Is it?
I don't have a twin sister.
It is good. We gotta have a mix of good and evil. Well, anything else, or should we throw out the out? That was a good intro to.
Yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
that
that was
wrapped it up
good.
pretty well.
She understood the assignment. I'm proud of her.
Yay! She did a good job.
She
Thank
did
you,
do a really good
Regina.
job.
Genius.
I'm gonna make her a name tag and it's gonna be pink.
It's like those Barbie Ouija boards. You ever see those? The Barbie ones.
Oh yes.
I want to get one from Five Below, one of those pink Ouija board ones.
I think that'd be funny.
Oh, that'd be hilarious. Hang it
thought-
on your wall with your haunted one.
Yeah.
Hold on, haunted? Aren't they all haunted?
No.
I guess
Technically?
well, that's a good
No.
question. It's like
That's a
what
good
you said about
question.
the tarot. It's like, is it a board, or is it just the tool? Is this just
Mhm.
temporarily the voice to what wants to speak? You know,
Mm-hmm.
that's a good question, but one for another day. That's a whole can
Yeah,
of
Another
yes.
topic.
worms.
Write that down. Write that down.
Write that down.
Write it down.
Someone.
Oh.
I mean, I think Regina understood the assignment, and I think
Yeah.
this is a really good exercise for her as well. It's like walking your dog. You know, you got to take them out. They start to get restless. Please don't jump off my shelf tonight.
No, she got her exercise. You got her walk in today.
Yes, I
she's
did.
pooped. She's gonna sleep.
Either
Can't let
that
her
or
slip
she'd
the
be like,
leash.
I didn't say enough.
Oh my god, and that has happened. That really has happened before. It is like I have felt this like insane pull where it's
Mhm.
like I will do like a big reading and it's literally like the card's just like just one more, and the deck will literally beg. It feels like it begs me to pull another one.
Hmm.
But
Not
they
tonight.
definitely feel like they have a personality of their own. No, she's quiet now. She's really quiet now.
Uh,
Well, that's a good
Yay.
place. Bree, you introduced her. You brought her into this pod. Might as well bring her out. That came out weird.
yeah, I was gonna say, I don't know what you mean by that.
Thanks for listening to this week's episode of Paranormal Lens. If you liked what you heard, every 5-star rating and positive review tells the algorithms we're a worthy podcast and pushes us out to more listeners. We appreciate each and every one of you, and we'll see you next Thursday for another paranormal deep dive.